Hello friends, welcome to the next episode of Tom and Dave Discover DotVVM. My name is Thomas.
My name is David. Hello.
Okay, so what was the topic of the previous episode? We showed several ways how to build components in DotVVM. That's why the episode was like 2 hours long, because there is a lot of different ways how to do that. And today we will continue with controls, but this time you will not need to implement them by yourself, because we would like to show a new package of components that we are preparing, and it will be released shortly. And so let's see that.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've created a little UI kit built on our favorite Tailwind.
Yeah, that's true. Like all of the episodes so far mentioned Tailwind.
Yes, exactly.
There must be some reason for that.
So yes, and this time we wanted to have the controls be a bit not larger, but a bit more, thanks to our composite controls capabilities and thanks to our new way of writing controls, we were able to build those controls a bit bigger, a bit more functional than before, and a bit more stylish than before. So that's what we're gonna see today. I prepared a little app that's Dave example, social media analytics. And it's a really simple example where I tried to basically see how far I can push this UI kit, how interconnected and how intertwined the controls we have prepared can be, and we're gonna take a look at it today.
Yeah, so like I would like just want to add that these components are opinionated.
Yes.
So they bring with some visual style that is inspired by several Tailwind-based other component kits that we saw. We said that that would be really nice to have something like that in .vvm. And so you will find a bunch of components there. I think it's quite similar to Bootstrap, actually. Bootstrap also has pretty opinionated controls. A lot of them would be very familiar to you because also these frameworks take some inspiration from each other. However, Tailwind is, I would say, more modern look and feel than Bootstrap 5, and also we use the CSS variables. So if you want to tweak the colors and other parameters, you will be able to do it. And so even the customization should be fine. However, our primary goal was to make a UI kit which just works. So if you don't know CSS, if you don't want to tweak anything, you would be happy with a nice looking components, then just you can use this package and compose your application from like ready-made blocks, I would say, or like bigger widgets.
Yes,
so let's show us the application.
I will show you the little application. It has no backend, so it's just for show, but it's
for showing off.
For showing off, yeah. But it's a social media manager. If you've ever dealt with campaigns for social media, you know what they kind of look like. So I wanted to showcase a bit of the controls in like a more natural environment than just in a documentation. So these are our cards, of course. They can have text which can be templated. So our headline can have other components within it. So like buttons, and we can change the functionality of those buttons. This is our button group, which groups more than one button together. And it's really, really simple and really nice, and they can be hierarchical. So this is a card within a card. So extremely simple to do, and they look really nice, even when they're like this deep in, like 2 layers deep within. And this again is a card, and we have a special card here, which is a card with colors. So if you want to showcase something bad, you can show bad colors, success colors, and primary colors. Colors, very, very simple and very nice.
So the card is just the rounded corners box.
Yes.
It can have the header, but I think it's optional.
Yeah.
And also you can customize like this frame color of the card, or you can put images and like this footer, which you can see in the top area, and you can nest cards together, which is great because like then you can achieve this experience.
Yes. And of course we have our favorite modal buttons, Model dialogues.
Model
That's what
dialog,
they're
yeah.
called, yeah.
And it's integrated with the new model dialog component in .vvm 5. So, for example, if you press the escape, it will work. And
Yeah.
if you use tap inside the component, you should not be able to tap out of the model dialog. If you make it yourself using some diff, then you would need JavaScript to detect that the focus get to some component under the model dialog. But because this is native HTML dialog element, then this should not happen. It should be more accessible. Yeah.
Yes. And that's basically it. A very simple showcase of our components. With this is basically just showing the cards because they look really nice with the image on top and the text on bottom, and the footer was really nice because this is once again not just text, it's a template with which can have multiple elements within it. So this is an icon and text, icon and text, icon and text, and it's all nicely laid out like this on the footer of the card. So that's...
Can we jump to the code to see how this experience is created?
Hopefully
I can
this one is it?
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so within our overview, we are on the code. So basically, this is kind of my style of coding. Whenever I do my own UI kits for my own projects where I don't even use .vvm or when I just write simple HTML, I basically do the same thing that I've done here. That's stack layout, vertical and horizontal, which are basically just flex boxes, I think.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, stack layout is a component we created just if you need to put several items next to each other or below each other and maintain some gap between them. This is the component you want to use. So almost everything is stack layout, and you say orientation is horizontal or vertical, and you can also specify gap, but there is some default gap. So if you don't like it, you can tweak it. There are a couple of sizes like small, large, default, but yeah. And gap,
gap,
and the IntelliSense for enums doesn't work. But what you can see here is Dave's new version of Visual Studio extension. We released it today, and it supports much better IntelliSense on composite controls. Because if you try to use either Bootstrap 5 or this component pack, with the previous version, a lot of these things on the page would be with the green squiggles, because the extension was never good at understanding composite controls the same way as .vvm framework, because for implementing the IntelliSense, you need to do a lot of implementation needs to be done twice, because when the application is actually running, it can use reflection to scan what components we have and detect the properties. However, if you are in the Visual Studio and the code has some compile errors, you don't have the assembly that you could load and use reflection on it. So we need to inspect Roslyn symbols, but so it's the same logic but on a different API, so it's quite difficult and you have to do everything twice. And when we introduced composite controls, we didn't have much time to have the same experience in the extension, and it took us some time until David found time to actually do it. So in the new build that was released today, the IntelliSense for composite controls works way better than before. Before it was mostly non-existent, I would say, or very, very, very Spartan.
You had to run the application to see actually the IntelliSense within it, so it was quite cumbersome to even explain how that process works, because usually it's on build or on save or something like that, but you had to run the application to create the metadata for those components, which was quite cumbersome to work with. But
and even though I think it didn't work reliably, I had a lot of cases when, even though I ran the application, it emitted some JSON file that the extension could load and understand the composite components, composite controls. In many cases, it just something was broken in the process and it didn't work. So this is much better. We still have some couple tiny things to fix, but if you try it, please give us the feedback. If you run into anything that you will see that IntelliSense should offer you something and you don't see it, please let us know.
Yeah.
We will be finally we are in the state where we can fix these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and it will be much easier because the implementation is there. So this is one of the things you
So
can
everything
see.
is stack layout. If
Yes,
we go
yes.
back to the page, if you press Alt Tab, if I can ask,
Yeah, okay.
then there is this breadcrumb. Can you?
Yes,
Yeah, this
exactly
one.
this one.
And under the breadcrumb with some gap, we want
Yeah.
the bar with the buttons. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So
and it has the same gap as between the buttons and the card, and the same gap between those cards.
Yeah. So that's the root stack layout, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
this one, the vertical one.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's basically the. I'm not much of a UI person, but I believe that with flex column and flex row, you basically can do most of modern UIs. So that's why I kind of gravitated towards the stack layout, and I kind of like it because it's basically just how I write. So it fits me very well. I hope that it will fit other people too. So
yeah, basically
hopefully-
I like it too because I don't have to think about that. And even if I decide, okay, the gaps should be different, then it would be just one CSS variable,
Yes,
which
exactly.
you can set globally in your pipeline, and it would adjust. But like these things are somehow designed to standard way of doing that. We used AI heavily for doing that, so it generated the reasonable defaults, I would say, because statistically ingested from many sources and making an average solution for that, I believe it should be fine. So this button bar, it needs to show drop down button and the normal button next to each other. And because a lot of people need to show an icon and also a text on a button, so we edit that it has icon and text properties, so you can you don't need to specify the content inside these components.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's in a horizontal stack layout, so like the same gap, but it's stacked horizontally, so it's easy to use, I guess.
Yes, it's very easy to use and very easy to reason about, because basically you have the vertical layout and then there's one row of the buttons, so it's very simple to think about and to figure out what it's built out of and how to build it. So it's really nice. And then we have cards, which of course use templates for headers and content.
And again, I can see another stack layout,
And again, within the header, I use a stack layout, which is horizontal, and it just shows an icon and text. And I added a few buttons to change up how it looks and how it works. I wanted to try and break it because it's very, very much like very too many layers, I think, but it works really well. It still works and looks great.
Yeah.
The thing I needed to do was to align everything, but that's normal.
Because the buttons are usually higher than the normal text, so it would not be aligned nicely. So alignment center, again, it's just one CSS property, like align item center with flex, but like you don't have, and you will have nice IntelliSense for that, so you don't need to remember CSS class names and these things. Yeah.
and then there's another stack layout.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
And this is the inner cards. These three inner cards are basically showing the top 3 posts of your social media campaign and how good they performed on social media, basically. And for this, we can use a normal .vvm repeater that's still there. We haven't replaced it with Tailwind repeater because it's functional. It's not like something that showcases something. And within a stack layout, it basically works as items for the flex row. The only thing I didn't want was to have the div around the repeater, so we use renderware protect false, so that the content can be just raw within the stack layout and we don't have the div in the middle.
You have to do it, otherwise the stack layout inside would have just one div element for the entire repeater. So then, it wouldn't affect what is inside that div, because this stack layout, it affects only its direct children and doesn't look inside of them. So you need to avoid this wrapper tag for the repeater. So maybe we can add like stack layout repeater or stacked repeater, something like that. But I think right now it's not necessary because it's it would be a combination of visual and functional
Yeah,
behavior in the same control, which is not always the best idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get the Tailwind components, you can tell us if you want a stack layout repeater. If
Yeah.
it's somehow, if you notice that you repeat this same pattern all the time, then maybe it would be worthwhile to maybe write it yourself or tell us that you want it within the Tailwind components, and we will
Yeah.
write it for you.
The problem with that is that you can get like the, I would say, dot product of options, because you want
Yes,
to
exactly,
combine
yeah.
stack layout with repeater. Then maybe you would, if we would have some other behavioral component, like we would want to create stack layout with other component, then there is other kinds of layout where we have doc layout, which also could be repeater. So there would be like n times m
Yeah, okay.
combinations
Okay, yeah.
of that. So like that's why I'm scared of.
Yeah,
But
that's
let's
true.
let's hear the feedback. If you use this pattern quite a lot, then of course it's natural that that might be handy. Of course, nobody can prevent you from building your own composite control to do that. Or if you look what CSS classes the stack layout generates, it's not that difficult. It will generate a CSS class called stack layout. Dash horizontal or something, so you can apply this CSS class directly on the repeater and it would work the same.
Yes, exactly. So that's basically it. We have a simple card which supports images. They don't have to be there, but if they are, they're in the header, like above the header. I think that this is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
because the
so
card
it's
can
above
also
the
be
header, yeah.
horizontal. There
Yes,
is another
exactly. We
version of the card. Yeah, and we have IntelliSense now, so like we can
show it, yeah.
everybody horizontal equals true. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just don't like horizontal equals true or false. I would change it to orientation to be consistent with other components. So there will be some slight API changes, but like we will see.
Yeah, and IntelliSense will tell you.
Exactly, IntelliSense will help you, guide you through the process.
So yes, we can have horizontal layout for the cards, and they look very nice. It's basically just put the image on the left side. I don't think we have.
Basically, they had stack layout in the card, and they changed the orientation from horizontal to vertical. Maybe
exactly.
Something
if you
like
think
that.
about it like stack layouts,
everything is stack layout. Actually, everything is stack layout.
So yes, we have very simple way to showcase different cards and different. That's my keyboard thing.
No problem.
And the cards within them have content, and that content is another stack.
No way.
I really enjoy stack layouts.
It's amazing thing. Yeah.
And it has within it another repeater.
Yeah.
And we have showcase of platforms where the content was shown. So this is like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram or Facebook. And how they performed is within the footer. They are just badges. We also have badges. These T
prefixes for all Tailwind controls.
Yes.
Yeah, T like Tailwind. We didn't want it to do tail, or that would be too long. T is easy enough.
Or TW would also look kind of weird.
Yeah, T is fine. It doesn't have conflicts with other things, I guess.
And then footers also have templates, so it's
there is the text under the stack layout. It's
shouldn't
it be in another stack layout?
No. This text is fine on its own.
Yeah, because paragraphs, they have some margin,
yes.
So you don't need to have additional gap between the stack layout and the text paragraph.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like also you could wrap it in another stack layout if you would.
If you wanted to be very.
What are you trying to write? I'm sorry, I have Czech keyboard. I guess. Layout. Exactly. Yeah.
But as you can see, our IntelliSense works out of the box.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
vertical. Yeah.
Vertical. Yes.
And then it knows what you want to write.
Does it?
It was showing it.
I didn't read it.
Never mind. Like, yeah.
No.
It's difficult.
Now I look like I can't write.
No, you tell us what keyboard layout you usually use.
APT V3 with template and layout like layers. That's why I do AX, because for me that's cut. A is the temp layer and X is cut. So I have a weird keyboard myself. So that's.
I would like to learn it someday. Or maybe I should use Vim. It would
Yes,
be similar, I
yes,
guess.
exactly. Okay, so we can wrap it in another stack layout. It looks basically the same, but for stability, it might be very nice to like not depend on the way that the text is rendered. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
That's maybe nicer.
Yeah.
Yes, and our footer has another stack layout, and within that stack layout is a stack layout.
Okay, so for every combination of icon and the text, there is
Yes.
another stack layout.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my very much backend person writing front end type of thing, I think, because maybe there's a better way, but I'm just like, this is my hammer and everything is as a nail.
But actually, it makes sense because if you would just use icon and text, there would not be the gap between them
Yes,
would not
exactly.
be the right one which you would want. And I know some people who write just the ampersand and BSP, like non-breakable space, but that's not really good. So like this is perfect, and because it's flex, it's responsive. So what is also nice thing on stack layout, that it has the wrap property. So you can say that if there is too much content, let's wrap it to the next line. So if you would, I don't know if we would.
We can just add more postcards.
Yeah, or make the window smaller, maybe. Let's try that.
Okay. Oh no, we can't make more postcards because we changed the footer. We have
we changed the footer, so it doesn't affect that. Yeah, but if we we would make but we saw it on the cards. If you zoom it,
yes, exactly.
The third card couldn't fit there, so by default the wrapping is turned on.
Yes.
So if it doesn't fit, a next line would start, and that's what we usually want. If we disable wrapping, then it would not happen. I don't know what would happen. Probably it would be clipped.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
makes sense.
That's our little showcase of stack layout.
Stacked stack layout.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And we also have the same flex properties as usual, justifying content, how much space is around each content, so we can have centered, and we can see how it looks like this.
Yeah.
Basically, a very simple way to have every nicety of flex rows just on this little
that looks better
component.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so then our outermost card has also footer, and it just has an alert. There's no stack layout there.
And these alerts are bindable, so you can bind text to it.
Yes.
And if the text is empty, the alert would disappear automatically. So I like it for reporting error messages, because usually I have just the error message property in the view model, and if it's null or empty, the alert doesn't show. So that's the easiest way how to report errors. And if there is no error, just like reset that property or use the server to client, so it would reset automatically, because nobody will provide value for it.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's really simple. The alert just does this little. It's not a card, but it looks like a card. So that's very nice. Like the card has the above color, it has the left color here.
And there is the icon auto-generated from the type of the alert.
Yes, exactly. So if we were to change it to
danger,
warning,
because that many percent is probably suspicious.
Exactly.
100,000%. I never had so many percent.
So it's a warning, and it automatically generates the icon, and it's very simple to use, and
it's good job. Yeah.
Yes. And it looks the same as other parts, so it looks very, very stylish. Okay, and then our second card is the statistics, where we again have a
stack layout with
icon and text. And then we have the content, which are cards about like stuff that's happening on your account, basically how much money you've spent and what the change over a period is, how well did it perform, and how badly did it perform. So things like that are really nice to use these little colorful cards, so it's not so boring and not so like clinical, not so analytical, statistical. It looks more nice, more playful.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cool.
then of course we have our little modal I don't know how to say it in English.
Model dialogue.
Model dialogue.
I don't know. I don't know. There is probably difference between British and US pronunciation, but I would say model dialogue. Hopefully people would understand.
Model dialogue.
Model.
Which works the same way as basically the dot model dialog, I think.
Yeah.
Because we already in DotVVM 5 have a modal dialog component.
Yeah.
So we just moved it into Tailwind and gave it a very nice styling, which looks basically just like a card. But, but also with the footer being slightly different color.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing that. No, I don't think so. Also, I just used a div here. It was very late. This should be a stacked layout.
Of course, and I'm not sure if there is. I don't know if there is a default stack layout in footer template, because usually probably you would want. I don't think, because like maybe some people want to move the buttons to other side or have something different than a bunch of buttons. So let's see it.
Let's see the stack layout. Okay.
Is it the correct dialogue?
Is it applied set next weekly goal?
Did you save the file? Set the next weekly goal.
Maybe.
Let's refresh it.
Refreshing it again. Maybe there is some kind of default stacked layout, and it's showing on the right.
Change it to vertical. What happens? Vertical.
We'll see. We'll experiment live here. Okay, so I think
it works. So Justify doesn't work because because Justify in a horizontal stack layout, I think that it's
no, I think we are in a stack layout. So I think the footer has a stack layout. So the buttons are on
so
the right.
if you remove the stack layout, probably that would be working.
This is basically probably the same. Yeah, I think we are in a stack layout.
Okay, so like we had stack layout inside of stack layout, and that tells to make it horizontal and align it to the end, which is probably what you want usually.
Exactly. It's to keep the modal dialogues the same.
Yeah.
So basically you don't have to think about the stack layout there. Yeah.
Yeah. So one less stack layout.
One less stack layout.
Exactly. yeah, exactly.
Okay, and this modal dialog basically works the same as any other. We have command buttons here.
Yeah.
Basically the Tailwind buttons are here, and we have icons. So using the basic components to represent how nicely we can make it, and drop downs, of course. Drop downs have to be there. And we can choose what to do, and it should do something.
I think
sure.
It's not implemented. There is no click handler, or it can have either a click property, or it can have a route link. So it can be a button or navigate URL or route name. So you can choose how it should behave. Sometimes it goes to another page. Sometimes it tries to do something. So you have all these options.
Yes, exactly. And it's just a really simple way to build UI and have it nice. Very nice. Okay, so then there were a bit more complex functionality. This is a table, and within the table we have other Tailwind components like buttons and the badges, and that's basically
and it's a standard grid view, or
this is our grid view on the campaigns. We have
it's T-grid view,
T-grid view.
But it's just a grid view. However, it's styled in these Tailwind classes, so it's exactly the same as the normal .vvm grid view. It inherits from grid view, but it applies some special CSS classes to make it look like this.
And since the grid view is the owner of the styling, we just use the .grid view text column. We don't have specific Tailwind text columns or anything like that. So they just represent the value that's within it, but styled it will be by the Tailwind grid view.
And it's great because if you implemented your own types of columns for .vvm grid view, you don't need to adapt these controls to different base classes because it's still the same component. Unlike with business pack, which is a different implementation of grid view. It has different base classes for the columns, so then you cannot reuse these columns between framework and business spec grid views. Like this is more flexible, I would say, because you can use the same type of column in more scenarios.
Yeah. And the grid view itself is the inner part, so it's showcasing the headers and the texts, and the way we round it like a card so that it looks nice is with a grid table wrapper, which I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like that.
Oh, but okay, I never saw that.
But it's how it's used.
Okay.
Without it, we'll just have the text within a block, basically.
Yeah.
But with it, it creates the nice border around it.
Maybe because the HTML table, that's true. Like it has to be like that because the HTML table element cannot have rounded corners. Exactly. It has to be wrapped with div with the rounded corners, and also I think like overflow hidden or something like that, because otherwise it would have rounded corners but the content would be still visible.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe we will create a T grid view wrapper or have grid view to render the wrapper itself. That would also be an option. So let's see, this might still change until this pack of components is released.
And it's just a preview, so this anything might change, but it won't change.
Stack layout will not change. There is already too many of them.
Stack layout cannot change.
People would kill us.
My entire life depends on it now.
Yeah, exactly.
So and it's a really simple way because it usually it works as usual. That's what I wanted to say.
Do you have sorting allowed here? I don't think so.
I don't have.
Is it grid view dataset? So if you just say allow sorting, then it should have the styled indicators of the sort order. So if you refresh it, oh no,
cannot use column sorting.
Because there is it's not a grid view dataset.
Oh,
so
okay,
so we would have to, it would be just a list. Yes, if we change it to, I can type it.
Grid view.
Dataset.
Dataset. Here it is.
Yeah, and then let's see. We have to wrap it with items equals.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just like this. Yeah.
The IntelliSense wanted to show me, and I didn't listen.
Okay, so we have to rebuild the page. Exactly. I never used that button. I always use the shortcut, but I understand that shortcuts are difficult on a different keyboard layout. So like that.
Okay, so Now we have the arrows.
When you click on it, there is the arrow indicating the sort direction. So it's you don't need to do anything. There are some default CSS classes set on the grid view columns for this sort indicator because it's done by CSS, and the Tailwind implements these CSS classes, or these Tailwind components have this CSS class to look nicely in the grid view. So you just use the feature, you don't need to take care of styling.
Yes, exactly. And that's also a big part of being opinionated like this. You don't have to think about it. That's the nice thing. Yeah.
We almost didn't need to write any CSS class.
Yes, exactly.
Just the grid view wrapper, which will probably disappear in the production version of these components.
Yeah. Okay. And we have basically a simple dropdown, which works by styling the above dropdown, but the normal dropdown is the basic HTML dropdown. So it works nicely on mobile. It works nicely everywhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I always come up with, that always comes up when designing UI kits is the dropdowns, and then date time pickers.
Yes, that's
exactly.
The problem.
Two most problematic things, and it's the best to break your UI kit and just keep it the basic HTML because it's already handled everywhere.
I think we will have to provide a second option because the problem, if you need to let the user search in 1000 items, this is not a good way how to do it, because all items would be loaded in the page and there is no server-side searching thing. We have this implemented in Business Pack, but it's not a native select component, so it doesn't look that well on the mobile phones. We did some work to make it a little bit better, but still it's not great, and also it would have a lot of accessibility issues. However, it will allow you to do more than this standard component. However, currently you cannot combine Tailwind and Business Pack because Business Pack components look different. So what we are thinking of to make is another theme for Business Pack that would look the same way as these Tailwind components. So you could use components from both packages. So if you are fine with just simple selections, then you don't need Business Pack. However, if you would need advanced datetime picker or the searchable components, then we will make sure that you can use these together and have a unified look and feel.
Yeah. And this is truly a preview stream. This is something we are just planning to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we've seen how nicely the Tailwind components work and look, and how simple it is to create these like very nice user experience pages with just simple stack layout.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is stack layout. Yeah. We will have to have BP stack layout.
No, not another one.
It would look the same as T-stack layout.
Okay, yeah.
We would style it to look the same. Actually, in the normal Business Pack, you also need some stack layout that would maintain gaps, and we don't have it. So, like, people do it.
in the Bootstrap, we have rows and columns.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But nobody likes Bootstrap in 2026. Yeah.
Okay. So. This is a simple table.
Is there the postback handler on delete? No.
There is not, but
we have it in the pack.
I can show you.
Yeah.
I think no, this is too quick.
Okay, sorry, I'm skipping. I'm skipping. Okay, no problem.
But we can see how it looks like because it uses the same spinner here.
Okay. Because also what we did, if the postback takes longer, the button will disable itself and show the spinner animation, and you don't need to do anything. It's turned on by default. Actually, we have to think about if we should be able to turn it off, because sometimes it might be annoying. It waits like, I think, 50 milliseconds, because if the action is short, you don't want the layout to jump because the control gets additional spinner inside. However, if the action takes longer than 50 milliseconds, it will display that spinner to indicate that something is going on. And if you click repeatedly or hit enter key on the button, it will not do anything. So it should also have the double postback prevention. Yeah, and there is the postback handler for the buttons, which you can use for the confirmation before deleting, and it is styled to be the same as the model dialog. Yeah,
I think we can do just a little thread sleep.
Let's try it. Let's try hot reload.
Okay, let's try hot reloading. Okay.
Because for this simple change, like adding thread sleeps, it should probably which was the button?
This is it.
Yeah. So you can see if the action takes longer than a couple of just short number of milliseconds, then you will see this animation, and it's turned on by default.
And every button has it.
Yeah, immediately. So I think that also adds to the nice user experience.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because usually you have to manually set this up or create your own control that has it already set up and use like your button instead of dot button.
Yeah.
So this really nicely handles all.
And the correct way
cases.
to implement these things is to write a postback handler, because then it can be used on any component, not just a special button that you use. So I think that's the most reusable way, but it requires some JavaScript, and it requires using promises in JavaScript. So like not that difficult if you understand tasks in .NET.
Yeah.
Understanding promises in JavaScript is not that different. It's the same concept, but like the syntax is sometimes not that nice. But you can use anything await to implement these also. So it's not that terrible.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And these are again alerts that shouldn't be alerts. Maybe I didn't really think of a better way to showcase like stuff information that's more than one type. Maybe a little card would be nicer, probably.
Yeah.
But it's a simple alert with information about stuff that your campaign has done. And as you might have seen, we have forms, and forms are validated and not validated, but show validation by default. So that's also one thing.
Can you show how the forms look like? Because there is a framework for building forms inside this UI kit.
Okay. I don't know if I've used it.
It's called stack layout.
It's called stack layout.
No, it's not called stack layout. It's called
we have text box
name of the
field.
control and then suffixed by form field.
Okay, so this is it.
And basically it will render label, the component, and a validator. So there is no validator value.
Yes.
It's done automatically for you. And there is also select form field. I think there is also checkbox form field. And there is a form field which you can put the control inside and tell it what property should be validated. And so you can provide your own type of field, or you can implement your own one as a composite control if you like.
Yeah.
So these are the most typical fields, and the nice thing is that it will create the labels automatically, wire them to the component, so you don't need to say label for and some ID and then control ID and make sure that it's unique. Here I think that we are rendering the control inside the label, so you don't need to wire them together using IDs. No, okay, so that should be changed because this doesn't work. It's not correct. The label should be around that.
Yeah.
Around that thing, and it's not. So that's AI screwed up completely because this was mostly implemented by AI. So we have to do these like final checks. But because it's for accessibility. If you click on the campaign name or if you click on the budget word, the text box should get focus. If it would be labeled correctly, then the text box that belongs to that label would get the focus, and currently it's not behaving like that, so that's what we have to change.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I can't click cancel because I forgot to set
validator enabled as false. Exactly.
So yes, now it works, and as we click create, we basically see our little spinner
control
and little text. That's it. It's probably within a stack layout. Okay, so now new things that haven't been anywhere else in DotVVM, I think, are those loaders.
I think Business Pack has them, but they are not rounded corners, so that's completely different kind of component.
Exactly. So this is completely new.
Okay.
And it has a few ways of being shown. We also, of course, have different ways to show this progress bar. We have show label true or false because we sometimes want to write the label ourselves, so that basically showcases this inner label, or it turns it off.
No label,
so it's nicer. Or not nicer, but smaller. And that's basically another vertical stack layout within a vertical stack layout. That's gonna be my thing when we release Tailwind components. I'm gonna use it everywhere and do just stack layouts.
Exactly.
And this is a little nice list. Which also is something that's very much opinionated, because we basically decided that these things are so basic and so widely used that we just combine three of the things together. So it has a text, subtext, badge text, and badge color. So basically we have text, subtext, and badge, and that's it. That's what we show within the list. And if anything we want to hide, then it's just not there, and it will be like proportionally edited so that the element isn't there and there's no space or anything like that. So it's a really simple way to showcase just a list of items or things like that. It's a very, very clean setup for quickly showcasing few things.
I'm like still not convinced that this is the final version.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
maybe it's
yeah.
too much opinionated. What if you want to have the badge next to the title or
Yep.
something like that? So probably there will be a way how to provide your own template
I think that's
or
that's
multiple
what we,
things. Because like my other idea is that we have been using grid view and it renders HTML table, which is great because if you want to work with tables, you can copy it, paste it in Excel, and it would detect the columns and
Yes.
rows. However, if you open that table on a mobile phone, then either you have to have horizontal scrolling in the table to be able to work with that, or if the grid view in Tailwind could also auto-generate this list that would be visible for the same data, but it would be visible in the mobile view, and you would just say, okay, this column is important, I want it on the mobile. This column is like, I don't know, priority 2, so if it fits, show it. If it doesn't, like, who cares?
Yeah,
Something like that. And I think that if the grid view would also render this mobile version with different way of presenting the data, that would be really powerful.
yes,
And
exactly.
because currently we had problems with that in a couple of applications we created, and like,
Well, who hasn't had
difficult.
problems
Yeah,
with grids on
yeah,
mobiles?
yeah. And our solution was typically either just to hide some columns of the table on a mobile, but that's not easy to
Yeah.
do with CSS because the way how tables are done in HTML,
Exactly.
it's a very old API, so probably today they would design it a little bit different. But still, if the grid view would be able to automatically generate that, that would be really awesome because you can just turn it on the application globally maybe, and like sometimes choose the preferred columns that should appear, and that's it. Because it's not with CSS, it's not possible to make the table responsive.
Yeah. So we're always looking at how much opinionated we can
Yeah.
be and how to help with this, because in this one with these controls we're really trying to basically be out of the box as usable as we can, so that you basically don't have to really
design anything. You don't need to design anything.
It's not that you don't have to think about it, but it's that you have a stable design that you can depend on. That's kind of our goal with it. So
and also I think it helps because we already live in an age that a lot of code is generated by AI agents, and the more constrained environment you give the AI agent, usually the better results you will get. So if it cannot be too much creative with the list, it would just like be able to set, okay, this primary information, secondary information, some batch, and that's it. It will probably do something that would be usable, and then you can iterate on that, make more details. But if you give it easy way how to do it, usually it would fit and it would be good enough.
There's also recently a thought I had that it's that DotVVM is a very, even before AI we didn't really think about it, but now with AI DotVVM is really token conscious, and like it's, the nice thing is that usually you have front end, API, and backend, but we have .html and view models. So we basically have the definition of what's supposed to be on the page right next to the page. So it's really simple for AI agents to reason about this, to think like I have text or a title within my view model, I can add it to .html. And thanks to using our own controls or components, the AI doesn't have to think about like what kind of React I want to write to showcase this component and basically rewrite everything from scratch, because we give it something that's already workable with. So that's really simple to use, and it will just say, okay, if I use this component, it will be much easier than writing them myself. So it's basically a token saver.
Yeah, that's true. Like it's because it's semantic basically. Like there is a lot of controls that have semantic, like they mean something, or they represent some behavior, and I think that it was because if something is good for the LLMs, it's also, I think, easy to use for people. Yeah, because we are similar to some extent to the way how large language models represent the information, how they work with that. we sometimes think that like these LLMs hallucinate, but like then you open the newspaper and you see what people can produce, and like I prefer LLMs actually. Yeah. So like it's I think that if it's friendly for the tokens, it will also be friendly to use for
Yeah.
us.
And also the thing is that with these controls, we really try to be as, because .vvm I usually pick it for my own projects because it's very simple and very quick to set up.
Yeah.
I just create a .vvm from template and
you can start.
I immediately work, and
Yeah.
that's it. And with these controls, I can immediately work and they look nice.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things. Also with these like side menus and things like that.
We will also show it.
We will get there. Yeah. That's something for 5 minutes later.
Exactly. Yeah, because we have seen a lot of these controls already.
Yeah, as I see,
this was done by AI. It's not your fault. It was AI. It's not your fault.
It was probably done by AI. Yeah. I should have told it to use the components.
But
more.
it's just stack layout.
Yeah, this is basically stack layout. Okay, so these are just simple cars. Nothing special. One special thing is we have a really nice avatar control that's used for users and for information about users. As we can see on the right side up, this is basically when you're logged in as someone. This is your profile. And then we have, this is something that's, when you're working on a social media campaign, you have personas of people who you want to respond to that campaign. So this is basically just like top followers that you want to target. And we have few people. These are all made up people. These don't exist and they will never exist. And then a very simple table showcasing some stats, and then very simple alerts.
We have seen that already. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, for the stuff I was talking about before, we have a side menu control which renders this side menu right here, and then we have a top menu control which renders this top menu right here.
Yeah.
And that's basically all you have to do to have this, like, I don't know what to call it. I would call it something like a corporate default layout.
Probably, yeah, but like it's pretty common combination to have it like that. So
exactly.
That's what it is.
It's basically the convergence of all layouts. We found out that this one is the best. That's basically why everything uses it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. Very, very simple.
Yeah. Menu and again, simple to use. You can use menu items. We also have menu item separator, which will create a horizontal or vertical line.
Yes. I don't know if we want to show it, but
we can try.
Menu item
separator. Hopefully, you have the latest version. That's it. That's
just
it? Like nothing. Oh, sorry. I should not type when you are typing. Just like exactly.
Okay, so we put it inside of the
no. It's just a line. So like it's not doesn't have any content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about sections.
No, sorry. There are also sections.
There are also
sections, but here it's a separator, so it just draw a line, so you can put it there. And now, and if you use it in top menu,
there's a line.
Yeah, if you use it in top menu, it would be vertical.
Yes.
Some CSS magic. Yeah, exactly.
A vertical line.
Exactly. Yeah, that's because I can make a horizontal line in pure HTML with the HR element, but how you would make vertical? There is not VR element in that. I'm not aware of it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a really simple and powerful way to build apps, and I think that you'll like it.
Yeah, we hope that you will like it, because technically you should be able to use it without even setting a Tailwind in your project. Here we have it. We have this because in the markup we still keep using this instead of stack layout.
Yes.
So, but if you use stack layout for everything, then you would not even need this. You would not need this build.js that would process these Tailwind things. you would not need Tailwind config.js, and you would not need package.json, and that's the goal.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the control package ships with ready-made CSS. So if you don't want to tweak it, you should be able to use it
out of the box.
out of the box. We are still thinking which standard Tailwind CSS classes should be included, because if you use, I don't know, maximum width and then you put your own number, that would probably not be, if you are not lucky, it would not be bundled in the library. But like, or we will make a template that would have pre-configured Tailwind, because for example, this allows Tailwind to recognize that class dash and name of the class equals Boolean binding sequence, and so this is extension of Tailwind, and also it tells it that watch these types of files, this is how to treat them, and also this is some configuration, because you can tweak these things that Tailwind uses, so you can add your own semantic colors and these things. So like there is quite a lot of things that you can configure. However, we want to have a reasonable defaults, so you don't have to. Yeah, that's probably the point. And let me show the other project.
Let's see the
because
other one,
we have another app, and this is the samples on which we are developing and testing all Tailwind controls. So this is a showcase of all controls we have in our package. So we have just some primitives, some basic colors. So you can see there are colors, and you can change this, that you want secondary to be a little bit different than gray, and you will have it. You can tweak these things as well. There are some basic classes for typography. So if you put anything inside div class equals typography, then these things would be styled as they should be. So inline code snippets, highlights, abbreviations, shortcuts, all caps labels, lists, and these things, everything would be styled in a nice way, including block quotes and that. So that's one thing to use. And then we have all the controls. So we have seen alerts of different colors. We have seen the avatar. You can either provide an image or you don't need to provide it. So if there is an image, there would be the image. Otherwise, there would be the initials. So that's great for showing the avatar of the user who potentially didn't upload the image. There are various sizes and like these things. We have seen badges, so all kinds of colors. Buttons are also like all size, all kinds of colors. I think we will tweak these colors because they are too dark. However, my colleague was playing with to make sure that it's accessible enough, so there is high contrast between that. But it looks a little bit sad, so I think that we will make some changes in that. We will see. And different sizes, icons, and like that. We have seen the button group, so grouped buttons together. They can also use colors, and you can even bind them from data source. You can say that. Drop downs, that also we have seen them. We have a wrapper over the hero icons collection. Tailwind recommends using hero icons, which is open source pack of components. So we have generated enum with all the hero icons, and you can use that. And there is also a helper copy as SVG, so that's amazing. And we have seen progress bars with and without labels. We have seen route links, that this looks the same way as buttons. We have seen spinner. And here we have the simple framework for the forms. So there is the form control, which can have some header text. It's similar to card, but like it will render HTML form elements. So the submit buttons would work as expected. And then if you want to use, I'm not sure if this is correct because these two fields are on the same row. I think there is the form row component also. Because this doesn't correspond to what we can see here. So that's probably a mistake. However, that should be also, the validation should be set up correctly on these fields. There are some other versions. There are all the supported form elements, so like text inputs, checkboxes, even with the disabled states, radio buttons, and this select, which we correctly named combo box in .vvm, but we didn't want to make breaking changes, so we never actually renamed that. We have seen cards and all the things that cards can do.
Yes.
So like you can see even the dark card if you prefer. And
yeah, that's one of the things that I was immediately thinking about. Does it have dark mode?
Yeah, no, currently there is no dark mode, but we are planning to implement it because that's what everybody basically wants. So
there will be.
Yeah, there will be. Stack layout, we have seen it. We also have a dock layout, which I'm still not convinced if we keep, because it allows you to have something on the start, something at the end, and keep the middle occupied by the rest. So like something is aligned to the start, something to the end, and the rest will occupy the remaining space.
Yeah, it's basically something, as you can see at the top menu, we have on the left side the .vvm.controls Tailwind, and on the right side we have back to samples.
Exactly.
And if
you can have something in the middle if you want. If not, just keep it empty, it's fine.
Exactly.
And if you are on a mobile screen, then this would just change to vertical stack layout. Okay, yeah, because if there is not enough room to fit all three things, so let's just render them below each other, and that would probably work. So we are not sure if this should be there, but so far like we have that, and we are also thinking about a grid layout control where you can say how many columns you need, maybe on which size of the screen, because that's also pretty useful mechanism. Breadcrumb navigation, so like it's this one, we have seen it in the application. There is also another component called process timeline. If you have some multi-step wizard, then you can use this kind of indicator to show the user where they are. You just bind to an integer property from the view model and provide these steps. We have the side menu with the sections and drop-down items. We have the top menu with this on the left, in the middle, on the right, including these things. These are still some a little bit buggy, that should be aligned to the other side, but like that looks also pretty nice. And there is the tab control, which is pretty simple, but like also people usually want to use that. You can also control it programmatically from the view model. So if you set this selected tab index from the view model, then it will switch to the correct tab. Sometimes it's useful. We have seen lists, so that's what we have. And there is also, you can tweak the link mode if it should be like the entire row should be link or just the text inside. Style data pager, nothing special about that. Maybe we should rename it to data page. It's named data pager, just here it's named inconsistently, so we will make sure that it's named data pager, because that's what we want.
Well, it's a control for pagination. So.
Here there is the table, and it's without the wrapper, so it doesn't have the rounded corners, so we don't have it shown here. We have seen model dialog, so nothing really special about that. There is the notifications control, which is quite nice to use because you bind it to a collection of notification item objects. And if you add items to that, they will stack here and they will disappear automatically. So like even if you need to display more of them, then they will be there and then they will start disappearing suddenly, maybe someday. Hopefully, or I don't know what timeout is there. Obviously not 4 seconds. They would be also, or the user can disable them also. Probably this timeout is set to be longer. And about the menus, because we've been thinking about what application layouts we usually have, and we found 3 typical layouts. So either you have just a top menu and then the content centered in the middle. So that's the first one, and we want to make it really nice to when it's displayed on the mobile to be responsive. Then there is side menu only, that you have just that and nothing like that. Maybe you would have the sign out button here. That's another typical pattern which a lot of application uses. And then there is the both menus layout, which is the combination of the top menu and the side menu. And if we open DevTools and try to switch to the mobile mode, you can see there are two menus. One will expand from the one side and this will expand from the top. Yeah, and there are still some bugs in that, but I think these three layouts are the most common. So we want to have a ready-made component that would allow us to just it just works.
Yes,
and if you want to tweak it, of course you can do everything with CSS. However, probably that could be, if we have a component that would just work, that would be great. So let's go back to this mode, and that's it. So that's the Tailwind components. There is still some work to be done before we release the preview version, and there will for sure be some API changes from the beginning, but I think that it's quite nice because we have been using it on several applications, and I didn't have to write any CSS classes. Everything just worked within by default. Yeah, so that should be fine.
And everything just works and is nice.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Usually it works and it looks like when I do primarily backend, you will notice what my frontend looks like, but it's really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have anything else?
That's it.
What will be the next episode about?
I'm not sure.
Maybe some AI stuff, because what I forgot to mention is that most of these things were implemented by AI. We gave them Bootstrap for .vvm to see how we implement .vvm components, and also we made instructions that the components shouldn't render these thousands of CSS classes. Instead, it should generate something like that. So for example, if we have button, it will declare a sane button class and then use apply to combine all these Tailwind classes to a button CSS class. And there is just a modifier for small buttons, for large, extra large buttons, and for the colors, and these are just combined. So then the button looks quite simple. It's a normal composite control which just takes these options and combine the list of CSS classes that the components should have, and that's it. So that's why it's quite simple. Even from the implementation perspective, it's not difficult. And we've been using AI to build most of that, and it was amazing how much time it actually saved, because we could implement a lot of UI kits like that previously for .vvm, but when we estimated how much time we would spend on that, it wasn't feasible. And now with AI, it's feasible. So you can expect to have more and more components because they are much easier to create than before. So that's, I think, the last thing. So maybe next time we can do something live with AI. It will be a lot of fun because you never know what to expect. But I think that we can try it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. We will provide the source code in the link on the comments. However, you will not be able to run the project yet, because we depend on a preview version of the library that is not published anywhere. It's sitting just on our internal feed. So stay tuned, and I expect this component pack would be released within a couple of weeks.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's it. Next time we will be doing some crazy AI stuff. We have to think, or maybe we can ask AI what we will do on the next episode. And okay, so see you next time with Tom and Dave discover.vvm. Okay, bye, take care.
Thank you, bye.